Santa baby.
Season's greetings from Fantasy Football Hell. As most of you are likely aware, I've amassed an impressive record this season of 3-9. In most rational worlds, this would completely discredit me from managing a fantasy football league. However, you might also be aware that we are currently living in the Philippines, in fact making me extremely qualified to be in charge, so suck it!
Actually, I'm only 50% in charge. Andrew Wynn is technically co-manager.
Anyway, I have a couple of announcements as we wrap up this season, and yes, prepare for the next one also. First of all, no keepers. Next year we will start with a completely new draft. I know you want to keep your grubby little mitts on Adrian Peterson or Reggie Bush, but no! No, goddammit! Second, next season we're reducing the lineup. There's too damn many of us, and I don't know about you, but I don't enjoy spending my Mondays contemplating waiver wire requests between a running back who is projected for 4 points and a tight end who is projected 19 but averages 0.6. The most painful position with 16 teams is running back, so we're switching to starting one running back per matchup. You love running backs so much you can play one in your flex, so meh. Third, and speaking of a crowded league, Anthony Steele has expressed interest in joining the league, so if I can get him to click that accept button, the Alboy Anteaters will be joining us next season. I've made the executive decision that this would mean that since he's the furthest south, Justin switches over to the Visayas League. You can argue with this one, but I think I can get away with it if the NFL is still pretending that Dallas, Texas is an Eastern team. The good news is this means no more bye weeks. Fourth announcement, next season will be a live draft. We can either do it in Manila or in 2 separate locations, one in the Visayas and one that will almost certainly be Andrew Wynn's apartment in Tobacco, a place where nothing bad ever happens. If we do multiple locations, it will be simple enough to coordinate between them using internet programs like Skype or Google Hangout or something like that. And if anyone can't make it but wants to participate using the internet or even calling over a promo or text or something, we can definitely work that out. But otherwise, if you don't want to do it live at all, this does not mean that you're out of the season. You can still auto-draft. If you choose auto-draft, the best players from the ESPN rankings will be picked by us for you during your turn in each round of the live draft according to the list below this video. If you don't like this list but want to auto-draft, you can email me with a different order you like better and we'll use that. Fifth and finally, the main reason I made this video! Announcing the 2013 season's playoff showdown! So next season we're going to need to decide our draft order. On the TV show The League, they usually do this with some kind of contest or hilarious shenanigan. Well, that would be fun. With all of us so far away from each other, I have a different idea, which is to have a contest using the NFL postseason. That would be the playoff showdown. Anyone who participates in the showdown gets a shot at the number 1 draft pick next season. Let's be honest, I know these guys are in already. If anyone doesn't want to play, that's okay. They get sent to the back of the draft in the order of the number of points they scored this season. So here's how the showdown works. There's 2 halves. In the first half, we each pick a lineup. 1 player for each position from the NFL teams that will make the postseason, but no flex player. You can pick any player, there's no draft. Drafting for a contest to pick a draft would be silly and time consuming, and I'm already going to be putting in some hours. Why? Because for each player you pick, you get the sum total of fantasy points they earn for all the games their team makes it to in the playoffs, using the same points rubric we did all season. Better be careful which team you pick. And since the season on ESPN.com ends 2 weeks from now, I'll have to add these up on Excel or something. It's worth it though. This will be worth getting like 68 to 72% stoked about. Anyway, the second half of the showdown are your Super Bowl picks. For 25 points each, you pick the 2 teams you think will make it all the way to the Super Bowl. For 50 points, you pick how many points the eventual champion will have won by. This number has to be spot on, exactly correct. Also, for 50 points, of course we will have to pick which team will win it all. And finally, we'll have the overtime bet. I should credit my friend Bill Sissimus for this idea. He makes this bet every Super Bowl. Fact: in the history of the Super Bowl, no contest has ever gone to overtime. Here's how our bet works. If you say yes to the bet, and the Super Bowl does not go into overtime, like every single Super Bowl has, you lose 10 points, but only 10 points. But if you take the bet, and this is the first Super Bowl ever to go to overtime, you get 100 points. Thanks, Bill. Alright, so that's it for the second half. The final two, the final spread, the final champion, and the overtime bet. In the end, we add up the points from the two halves of the showdown, and the draft order is determined in order of who has the most points. I'm praying for the incredibly unlikely event of a tie, because we'll almost certainly have to arrange some kind of bizarre real-life contest between those two people to break it. I've created a SurveyMonkey site to make collecting your showdown picks easier. If you're down for the showdown, you should already have an email with a link and your team's passcode. Submissions will be accepted between when the playoff teams are finally decided and when I collect all the SurveyMonkey data the Saturday before the first playoff games. Alright, let's do this.